Hello, welcome back. It's going to be a sad day for me next Monday because my daughter finally moves out. She's been living with me since June this year, but now she's got her own place. Well, I won't say she's got her own place. She's had to unfortunately go back into rental accommodation. So I've got to get used to the loneliness and not having the little grandchildren around anymore. And although I've been on my own for 15 years now, and I have actually enjoyed the company of my daughter being there, having some adult conversation for a change. But I just guess I'm just going to have to get back out there and do things on my own again. And yeah, I've been used to it, like I say, for 15 years. Once I separated from my husband, it was a bit daunting to go out on my own for the very first time and do things on my own for the first time. Because when I separated with him, I also would appear I lost all my friends as well, apart from one. And she turned around and said to me, it's because you've become that single woman now and you've become a threat to all the married men. And I thought, that is crazy, but maybe it's true, I don't know. Most of my friends have moved away to other parts of the country and even other parts of the world. I did it myself. When I separated from my husband, it wasn't a great time, and I felt I needed to get out, and I actually moved to Spain and lived there for about 3 years. Oh, sorry, excuse me, it's very wet and slippy up here. And it got me away, it got my head together, and thought about what to do with my life and how I was going to move forward. But that's what I really wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to change that. I haven't brought my little flipping tripod stick with my phone. I'm actually holding my phone in my hand and it's you're too close, don't like it. Yeah, I think when people lose a husband or they separate from the husband and they find that they're suddenly on their own, you wonder what on earth you're going to do. How are you going to get by? How are you going to manage? How are you going to manage financially? How are you going to manage emotionally? And I can imagine a lot of people would have that tendency just to vegetate in the house and not do anything or go anywhere. But you have to get out there. There's a big world out there and you have to do it, otherwise you would just vegetate at home. I've been on many holidays now on my own. I go to museums on my own. I go to art galleries on my own. And I'm not going to lie, the first time I ever did it, I felt like all eyes were on me. Everybody was looking at me. Oh, well, she's out on her own, she's on holiday on her own, she's catching a plane on her own. But you do get over that feeling. And what I did notice was when I was out on my own, on holiday and doing these things on my own, I felt I was actually communicating with far more people than I would have done if I'd have actually been out maybe with a friend or my husband or partner. So that was quite interesting, because when I used to go on holiday with my husband, we'd go out for a restaurant, you'd go out for a meal, you'd go out for a drink, and you just sat on the table and you communicated with yourself or maybe the odd person that was sat near you. But I found when I was on my own, doing these things on my own, I actually communicated and spoke to so many more people than I would have done if I'd been on my own, or with a partner, or likewise maybe with a friend. You go into a shop and you're chatting away to random people in the shop, which you wouldn't necessarily do. But if you are going through this and you are becoming a divorcee, or you've just sadly lost a husband or something, you can't just sit there and let the world go by. You have to get out. You're going to have to get out. You're going to have to do these things. So yeah, just get out there and do it. I've been to America on my own. I've been to Africa on my own. I've been to Cyprus and Corfu. And I have actually enjoyed it more because I haven't been governed by what the other person has wanted to do. I've done exactly what I've wanted to do. I've gone to museums and art galleries and castles and things abroad that my ex wouldn't have been interested in. I'd take myself off on walks along the beach. He wasn't a walker, he didn't like going walking. So I'd take myself off on my own when we were together on the beach. So actually going out on the holidays on my own, it was quite invigorating, if I'm truthful with you, because I just did so much more, and I am doing so much more now, because when we were together, he was the one out enjoying his life. He was the one going out with his friends to the pubs. I'm going to do a different video on that, because that is actually, I'm going to do a different video on that because I felt like I was a single married mother. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate video on that. So yeah, I was the babysitter, the house cleaner, the cook, everything, and I didn't have a life. I have actually got far better life now, doing exactly the things that I want to do. And if you are finding yourself in this situation where you've just become single for whatever reason, don't let yourself vegetate, because that's when the sadness will set in, the depression will set in. You're sat in your house with your own thoughts and wondering what went wrong, what could I have done better. You can't dwell on these things. You have to get out, you have to do things. And you'll find whilst you are out and about, you're actually not thinking of all the negatives that you would be if you were sat at home mulling over it all. It does get better, and I'm loving life, absolutely loving life. But now that my daughter's moving out, I've got to go back to that lonely life again and get used to not having the grandchildren around. Get used to not having that adult conversation when she comes in from work, asking her how her day's been and stuff like that. It is going to be different, and it is going to be quiet. And it has only been for such a short time. But that short time has had an impact on my life these last 4 or 5 months. And yeah, it's going to be sad. I'm going to miss them. And although they're not very far away, once she gets into her own life again and the family all back together, which I'm really pleased about, because the family did need to get back together again. I'm there, just going to be sat on my own with my own thoughts again, mulling it all over. But hey, I'm pleased that they're all getting back together. And Mum, bye Mum. I'll be back out doing my own thing again. But yeah, hope that's been of interest to you and helpful to you. Don't get worried about doing things on your own. It can actually be quite a good experience. Okay, you take care. Bye for now.